Mostly what I would be normally doing here is just sort of reiterating what these guys have said. But I commenting on more of what occurred to me during this last viewing is how much it has a relationship with not a Miyazaki work, but Isao Takahata's first film, Horus, Prince of the Sun, or Horus Daiboken, Taiyo no Daiboken. Yeah, his 1968 feature that he made for Toei. It's really interesting. Like it really stood out to me when I opened up a copy of the art of Princess Mononoke, and like one of the first images is a concept sketch of San, and she looks very, very much like Hilda from Horus. Like some of it's just aesthetic stuff. The use of the white wolves in Horus, the antagonist Grunwald has white wolves, which he sends after Horus in the opening of the film. The openings of the films are similar in that it's sort of a opening on the protagonist locked in combat. The juxtaposition between this sort of, very rural community, both of their emphases on sort of marginalized cultures, because Ashitaka is not, I guess, conventionally Japanese. He's from the Amishi tribe, which were a people that were conquered by the Yamato people, who are just sort of the descendants of modern-day Japanese. In the same way, Horus was, despite its sort of being pigeonholed into this weird sort of Norse theming, the actual aesthetics are borrowed from the Ainu people of Hokkaido, which were similarly culturally subjugated by the Yamato people, to the point where, like, up until the 90s, it was illegal to engage in the majority of their cultural practices, and they still have not received reparations. And here's Isao Takahata doing something like this in 1968 while also being in a union. That's why that movie got very limited release and intentionally sabotaged by Toei. Ooh boy. But like it's more the way it's building, because like what I was saying with the socialist aspect of Mononoke, that is very much there in Horus. It's a small community. The community in Princess Mononoke is basically just a straightforward, like heroic entity in Horus, whereas in obviously Mononoke, it's Miyazaki depicting something with a lot more nuance and building on this sort of baseline idea. It really feels like a successor to Horus in so many ways that I love. Yeah, like the juxtaposition between sort of a wild child who's constantly angry, much like Horus, and the oily sort of antagonist in Eboshi, and the way she kind of mirrors Hilda, the sort of pick and mix of elements from different characters. That was what really stood out to me on this rewatch. Also, the fact that Lady Eboshi kind of sort of looks like Baizhang from Hakujiden, the 1958 film, the woman where Miyazaki went to see the film on a cold winter night, and he fell in love with her, and he went home and he wept because he thought she was so beautiful. And that was part of the reason he became an animator. There is certainly a resemblance between their characters, if not in their characterization, particularly hairdo-wise, which I love, and I like to imagine is intentional.
To see with eyes unclouded by hate.
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."